So in my previous video, I was talking a little bit about the dehumanization that takes place in a lot of prison systems, but I think it's kind of extreme in the Texas system. Uh, I mentioned in my very first video that Virginia, excuse me, probably my second video, but Virginia recognizes that their job is to incarcerate you or remove your freedom, not to take everything else away from you. And they allow a pretty wide range of property in the Virginia system. They have a really in-depth recreational and entertainment system in Virginia. They pay their inmates so that even the offenders or inmates that aren't able or don't have outside support still have some money coming in. The low end of that is a $35 a month paycheck. If you're working in the industries, the paycheck can be hundreds of dollars. They do require at that level that you put some into savings for when you get out, but you still, based on prison commissary prices and the types of things that you can order, such as books and games and clothing, etc., you can live a reasonably human, if not luxurious, life. And it makes a huge difference. Something as simple as being able to buy a brand name soap off of the commissary as opposed to the generic or whatever the indigent supplies are is a huge difference. It makes a huge difference in your ability to survive that type of environment with a positive or at least somewhat more upbeat attitude, not feeling beat down, not feeling dehumanized. Uh, that isn't always the case in all systems. Texas, unfortunately, is still does not pay its inmates. It's the only system that does not pay its inmates for the work that they do, even though Texas does have a prison industries as well. And there are any number of people who have zero support coming in from the outside, and that's a harsh experience in Texas. To give you an example, this right here is a piece of the state soap that they give out to all inmates, whether you have money or not. They give out 5 pieces of this. It's about 2 inches by 2 inches by an 1/8 inch. One piece does not last for one shower, so you get 5 of those. You can probably do the math. 7 days in the week, one of these doesn't last for one shower, so you are in a position of not having soap for all of the showers or having to borrow from one of the people. And yes, they do sell these stacks of 10, usually one soup. It's a dehumanizing. It's just, I hate to use that word over and over again, but that's what it is. It's a dehumanizing experience. This is a state spoon sold on commissary. It's green. The ones they have in the kitchen, exact same, are blue. A lot of units, they don't have them in the kitchen. They get stolen, they get thrown out. For whatever reason, you might have days where there's just no spoons available, and they're telling you to bring your own spoons. You might not have these. Again, the green costs money on commissary. So this is a prison ID card in the Texas system. And you will see people eating their lunches, whatever casserole or beans or whatever slop it is for that day. And don't get me wrong, some of the slop actually tastes pretty decent if it's made right, but it's still slop. And they'll be eating with this. That's how would you feel if you had to go into a restaurant and this is what you had to eat with? Again, it's a dehumanizing experience, and it goes beyond that. They tell you when you go through intake, you need to have shower shoes. Don't get in the showers without shower shoes. In the Virginia system, they issue you a pair. In Texas, you have to buy a pair. But you're not allowed to borrow money. You're not allowed to borrow. You can't. You can get in trouble if somebody else buys you something off commissary. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. And I want people, when they walk out the door, I want them to come to my facility and be processed from the very jump is a process of deinstitutionalizing them, of putting them back into the real world in an environment where they don't feel like they're in an institutional setting still. I want the home that I provide for them to be one that they will be proud to say, yes, I live here, and be proud to bring a friend over, not be embarrassed, and not be concerned that it makes them look like a lesser person, like they are lower class or second class or a charity case. And part of that is they will pay rent, but they also pay an amount of money each month to food necessities, and you know that will go towards buying good food and brand name products and providing for them in a way that makes them feel like they're not still being put into an environment where they're second class, where they have to go to the food bank to get their food. And we'll talk a little bit more about the difference between brand name and generic, or eating well or going to the food bank in another video. But keep that word in mind that dehumanization is yes, these people deserve consequences for their actions, but do we have an excuse to dehumanize them? And when we do dehumanize them and continue to do so once they walk out the door, what is it that they're going to turn back to? What are the consequences of us as a society continuing to dehumanize and hold these people back? Again, if you have a heart for what I'm doing and want to be part of this, please feel free to contribute or donate. Come along for the ride.